So sitting behind me was what I believe to be a 1951 Allis Chalmers WD. She's been parked for somewhere in the ballpark, 10 to 20 years, somewhere in that range. Not sure if she was running when she was put here, but that's how long she's been here. She is hiding a farm behind her. You guys will see that in a minute. We got a couple smaller Allis Chalmers here too, so maybe if she's locked up, we can do something else. First thing we got to do is unbury this old girl a little bit so we can actually get to her and work on her and see what we actually got. We do got James here with me. Should be a good day. We'll see what happens. This is all the stuff we got in our way. So, you know, I'll probably just make James move all that. And then I'll do the important work.
Great start.
Get that plywood out of the way first and so we can actually see this old girl. All right, so she don't got no stickers on her, but she is looking like a WD. Serial number is in the range of 1951. Got all that plywood out of the way. James is stacking some golf cart tires, and well, I'm not really sure what we got here. Got a generator right there. I'm not sure if this is 6 or 12 volts, or if it's even got a starter. Oh, well, right there, there's our starter. So got a starter, carburetor. Looking like she's gonna be pretty easy to work on. She's been sitting under a barn out of the weather, so that always helps. These tires are old. They're all weather cracked. That one's disintegrating down there. We got a coolant gauge right there up top. I've never seen that before. Might as well take a peek in the radiator while we're here. Bone dry, as expected. We'll go ahead and take a gander on that oil, see what's happening. We got our dipstick down here. Let's see what we're looking like. Oh, we got some oil. That's good. And it's up to the full line, so we're good there. Looks like we got a magneto. Hopefully that don't give us no trouble. Got some kind of toolbox. Couple bolts, some other stuff happening in there. Take a peek at our gas tank too. See if we can use it. There's 2 nuts sitting in the bottom of this gas tank and a bunch of rust and other crud. We'll probably just hook up a temporary tank. The exhaust has been covered up with a clapper. That's good. I don't know, man. I think we're gonna have some good luck with this thing. She looks good. She hasn't been sitting too awfully long. Everything's been closed up. You know, the carburetor's still hooked up. All the spark plugs are in it. The exhaust was covered up. Shouldn't be any moisture in this engine, but you never really know why she was parked either. So we'll get right to it.
Let's go ahead and open up this battery box, see what we got inside.
I don't think our battery will fit in there, but we'll make it work.
There's only one?
No, the other one's sitting right there.
Okay.
There's our ground hooked up to the rear end. Man, this tractor looks really unsafe to drive. There's just like 2 little foot places to put your feet, and that's it. But that's just how it was. All these tractors are like that. Not like modern day tractors. Nice and luxurious. Got to get a battery hooked up to this old girl. I'm not sure if she's 6 or 12 volts, but if you give a starter some juice, she's gonna turn over. Just gonna get a lot hotter if she's a 6 volt and you're putting 12 volt to her. Got our trusty Rule King battery with us. Time to get some work done. Was it meant to be? It was not meant to be. Damn. Yeah, we're gonna have to adjust these. It won't fit in the battery box, but normally if you just grab on them hard and yank, you can extend them about 2 feet. I didn't bring any heavy gauge wire with us. Hopefully loosening this and twisting it up a little bit is gonna give us what we need. It's probably only twisted from tightening it. Now we can pull it back through. Maybe give us a little extra reach. Whoever sprayed this tractor, man, did not care. They sprayed wires and all. Really should double check with like a bar. She's freed up, but we're just gonna blip the starter real fast. See what she's got for us. If she's locked up, I'm not really sure what we're gonna do. We might just let her soak and move on to the next one. Come on, baby. Using the meat hammer. All right, we're gonna see if she turns over right here. Really should double check that seat before I sat on it, just in case. Obviously she's not gonna crank, well, she's gonna crank over, but Hopefully she's not gonna actually start. I'd be amazed if she did. It's in neutral, so it's got a kick down starter, so hopefully she don't get stuck. I don't think I'm doing this thing right.
She's not locked up.
She is not locked up at all. Oh my gosh. Holy smokes. Okay, that is good. Here, let's do that again. Oh, she don't want to do it no more. I smell something burnt.
I saw smoke come right up around here.
Oh no. I think that starter just burnt itself up, or it's got a bad connection right there at the switch. We're just cleaning off the connection right now. Hopefully it was just bad. All right, that's a lot cleaner than it was. Got them nice and shiny now. Put it back together, try again. That's probably not our problem. It's probably something in the actual switch. James saw it smoke up a little bit right when we hit it. It might be a positive ground. Still, the starter would turn over. It would probably just fry the lights and stuff. I don't know, I'm not an electrician. Let's try it one more time. Come on. If we can find a hand crank, we can hand crank it. I don't know where he would have kept the hand crank for it though. The motor's free. If we have spark, we can pop a spark plug out. We can probably start it with the hand crank and not the starter, but man, it's so much easier with the starter. I'm gonna take apart that switch real fast and see if it's a switch. If not, we're just gonna have to hand crank it. We make do, man. I don't know what happened with the starter, but well, it's all right. I'm gonna clean all this up just in case. Reinstall this switch. I might just tap this battery cable directly to it. That'd probably be a good idea. Here, let's see. Here, twist that ground. Took both of the battery cables off. This was the original ground, and we moved the battery over here. And well, took the switch off, cleaned the connection point for the switch right there, and she still wasn't turning over. And then I was feeling this, and I was like, oh, that doesn't feel like a good connection in there. And sure enough, if you jam the wire up in there, she'll still turn over. Gonna make a quick Napa run, get a new wire. Hopefully she's gonna keep turning over for us, and we'll get her running in here in the next hour or two. Aren't you so glad we don't gotta turn this over by hand?
No, I'm happy we're not, because guess who's going to be the one that's going to have to do it?
Well, it would have been you, because, you know, pretty face has got to be in the video. So.
Yeah, show off the muscles and the moves.
The muscles. We got our new battery cable hooked up. She's ready to go. Hopefully she's going to turn over just fine for us. If she turns over fine, next order is going to be checking for some spark and then checking for fuel. And then she should run if she's got compression. She really hasn't sat too long. I mean, she's an old tractor. We're actually thinking this might be a WC instead of a WD, which means it's probably in the ballpark of the 40s. Gonna have to double check the serial number, but that's what we got. All right, moment of truth. Will she turn over? I'm seeing some sparks underneath this switch. It's probably not getting a good connection on the bottom side of this switch. Oh man, if it ain't one thing, it's another. She turns over good. All right, let's pop a spark plug out and check for some spark. Please don't hate me, guys. We forgot to bring a 1/2-inch wrench with us. Only 1/2 inch we got is impact, and I only have a 13/16 and 1/2 inch. That spark plug looks really good. Honestly, it looks brand new. Maybe someone was messing with this thing before. Maybe it didn't have any spark and they put some new spark plugs in it. Well, this has like hardly any carbon on it at all. No rust though, so that's good. These cylinders should be in okay shape. But we're gonna turn her over real fast and see if we got spark. James is about to turn her over. Let's see what we got.
Ready?
Yep. No spark. All right, just check this one too. No spark. So we're gonna have to take this magneto apart, see what's happening. It's all right. We know what to do. It's been a while since I took apart a mag. Hopefully the points just need to be clean. That's a loose. The other side wasn't even tight. Yeah, you can't get a screwdriver on it. That's why. All right, there's the cap. Right there's the distributor cap, and then behind it should be them points. That distributor cap just pops out. It's supposed to just pop out. Sometimes you gotta earn it. Oh, there we go. So distributor cap's out. Take off the next cover. I don't understand why the hardest one to get to is the tightest.
I'm just happy you were able to do it, 'cause if not, I was about to fucking break it off.
Then we would have been screwed. Also, this ground, which is a kill switch, when it's grounded out, it was just dangling down there, so I don't know if it was touching the ground. I doubt it would have been a good enough ground to kill us out, but we already got this half undone by the time I noticed it. All right. See what we got. Got our points. Points are right there. Condenser. Nothing looks too bad. We'll just file these down real fast. Hopefully we'll get a spark across it. I prefer coil in a distributor. Magnetos are kind of annoying, mostly because I'm young and I don't know anything about them. I do know that the points got to be clean. The points do look a little corroded, so we'll file the crap out of them. Nothing else in here looks bad, but we'll clean up all our contact points anyway. Check the top of this. All of them are looking pretty good too. Get filing and get her done. Get up in here. Decent amount of crud already came off of it with just a couple swipes, so. James is gonna hop up front, turn it over with the hand crank so I can check the point gap real fast. The point gap's looking good. We should have spark now. Should have, as long as nothing weird's happening with the magneto. James is up there with that hand crank. All right, turn her over real nice and slow. Oh, we got spark. Do it again. There we go. Yeah, we got good spark.
Good spark now?
Good spark now. I'm also betting that carburetor's probably all gummed up, so we are gonna have to clean the carburetor. We assemble this real fast, and James will start popping off the carb, and we'll start cleaning. And there's not really a point of messing with it anyway. Looking at the fuel tank, it's so gummy. Might as well clean it. Yeah, we'll have spark and we'll have fuel, and hopefully this old girl's got compression. And we'll be driving her out there, and well, we ain't got nothing to farm, but we can dream.
So it looks like we got our fuel line right here going into our carburetor. And I'm gonna go ahead and say this is our air intake. That would bring air into the carburetor and makes the fuel. So let's go ahead and get working on this. All right, fuel line's off now. There you go.
A greasy booger.
Yeah, this thing's
A lot of oil on that old gal.
This thing's nasty.
Has some miles on her.
Better key out. All right. So we just got the choke and the throttle off. Now let's take the carburetor apart itself and see what type of damage we got in here.
A nice little wood-filled trailer. Even comes with built-in seats for us. So this one's a little pokey though. Just gonna sit on the front half. Right away, I see we're missing a bolt. Someone's definitely taken apart this carburetor before, but any kind of motor from the 40s the carburetor is gonna be taken apart at least once in its lifetime. You know, this little girl, she's probably sat for multiple years a couple times throughout her life, just different owners and everything. Whenever something like this sits, the gas and just gums up in the carburetor, and then that'll gum up the jets, and then it won't run anymore because you got to have fuel through the jets in this carburetor for it to run. This here float needle's looking pretty good. There's one of them jets I'm talking about down up in there. Here, let's pop that out and see what she's looking like. Man, there ain't nothing more satisfying than having the perfect tool to do something. Come on, baby. She's loose, she just don't want to come out. There we go. So, you look through at the light, that jet's clear. This old girl probably would have cranked up. Her jets would have just gotten clogged after a while. Here's the other jet. I'm gonna mess up the gasket messing with it. But this gasket ain't perfect anyway. There we go. This one's looking good too. None of our jets were clogged, but this girl still needs to be cleaned. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with her. So, yeah, that's a good thing, honestly. Yeah, we're just gonna wire brush this girl up, get some of the flaking out. I don't really care too much about the rust as long as it's not like rust that's gonna break off. You know, this whole thing's gonna be full of gas, hopefully, for a while. You know, hopefully this old girl keeps running and she gets used. Gonna grab a wire brush and we're gonna take good care of her. All right, we got all this stuff wire brushed up. It's about as clean as it's gonna get. It's by no means perfect. She's still super rusty. We're trying to get her running today, not tomorrow. Float needle's working good. Sometimes they'll get stuck at the top and it won't let any fuel in. We gotta put our 2 jets back in. They're clean, but I'm gonna go ahead and blast them out anyway. Give this one a quick blowout too.
I take a carburetor apart a day.
A carburetor a day keeps the doctors away. That's what they always said. Mama always said that. 1 carburetor a day, take it apart, clean it, come back inside the house, and well, you don't gotta go to the doctors no more. All right, so stick this sucker back together. We really need a new gasket. She's gonna be leaking bad. But we got a nice gasket in between the intake and the carburetor. That should be good. You know, you really just don't want a vacuum leak. The rest of the leaks are fine as long as they don't catch on fire. We don't know if she was running when she was parked. This tractor belonged to my great uncle and he passed away a little bit ago. So we don't really have any information we can get on the tractor. You can kind of discover the story as you start looking at the tractor, seeing what's in the toolbox, seeing what's been taken apart. You can kind of see what was happening. All right, so we can't use that original gas tank. James is hooking up a temporary tank right now.
We're gonna gravity feed it to our carburetor.
Send it right next to the exhaust. That's all right.
Yeah, that would do.
No big deal.
That'd be fine.
Does she fit over them threads?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she'll fit. Throw a hose clamp on her. I'm looking at this farm all over here, man. All the spark plug wires are off. There's a bunch of stuff off and missing. I think this thing probably wasn't running when it was parked or wasn't running very well. If we get this old girl running, we can move her out of the way. That farmall's next.
Yeah, that's good enough.
All right.
That ain't going nowhere.
Right now is the moment of truth. James is about to add some gas to that gas tank, clean the carburetor, so we should have fuel and air. We checked for spark, we didn't have any, and we cleaned the points, now we got spark. Got the battery system all sorted out. Well, she's ready to turn over and see if she'll actually start now. I don't think I messed anything up when I took apart the mag, but you never know. I think she's gonna fire right up and just start purring for us. If that's the case, we gotta move some of that garbage out of the way and see if we can drive her. Moment of truth. James is gonna work this starter here. I'm gonna work the throttle and the choke, and come on, girl. Come to life. Come to life. All right, go for it, James.
In 3, 2, 1.
Give it a little blip of go-go. All right, go for it. Stop it. Do it again. We kept trying to turn her over and she was like, sounded like something wasn't really working in the switch, so we took the switch apart, destroyed all the gaskets in there, so we had to make new ones and everything. Long story short, ended up taking us 2 hours. Now we're back, slightly defeated, but hopefully she'll fire off this time for us with that starter, hopefully pushing a little bit more juice and turning over faster, but we'll see. How's it trying?
Yeah, it puffed back up.
All right, go for it. Oh, she tried. She tried a couple times. I wonder if our ignition's off, if we mixed up the spark plug wires.
Oh shit, did we?
I don't know. I don't think I did, but that's what I said last time too. Choke it this time. Let me play with the throttle a little bit.
Seems like right when you were choking it, that's when it backfired. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Starting to spark again.
Yeah, no, it's got a bad connection there. We need to buy a new switch. We tried to do temporary fixes for it, but we're just gonna have to pop it off and someone holds it to it. Alright, I'm not really sure what happened with the carburetor. We cleaned it before. There might have been some gunk in our temporary tank, or there might have been gunk in the line or something, or I just didn't get it good enough. But there is no fuel getting to this thing at all. I already pulled this drain. Should have been draining out. There's absolutely nothing. Nothing's coming out of the carburetor. Should be leaking. So we're going to take this off, and I guarantee it's going to be bone dry, or at least barely anything. It probably fired off from the carb cleaner. It's bone dry in there. No gas got in there at all. Something in between here and this float needle. You can see that float needle's working fine, so there's some kind of blockage up in here that I guess I didn't catch, or was caused right as soon as we started working on it. Oh yeah, there's a lot of gunk behind there. Yeah, I can scoop it out with a smaller screwdriver. Now, I think we got it figured out. We just tested it and the float works. So we're putting it back on. The float works. The needle was letting fuel in the bowl. So as long as the jets are clear, we should be in the clear. You know, who knows? I thought we were good the first time too. Stuff happens. There was just gunk back there that I didn't know about, and I guess when the fuel came rushing in, I did blow it out with carb cleaner, but it looked clear. So I didn't fully take it apart like I should have. That was my fault. It's all right, you know. Gave me and James a little bit more bonding time together. If you want, once it starts. It was firing. You heard it?
Yeah, for a second.
Yeah. Do it again. All right, hold off right there. Let me adjust the timing.
Okay.
So a little trick that an old guy taught my dad and my dad taught me was you got low compression, put a little bit of motor oil down in the cylinders, it's going to boost the compression up. So I do think we got low compression. I have a compression tester and we might test the compression, but I'm not totally confident, but I'm confident enough to just go for it. So that's what we're going to do. If that doesn't work, we do have my great uncle did have a co-op tractor right back there, the red one. That one still runs. We cranked it up a while ago. We might swap the battery from this one, just run this one off the mag, maybe pull start this one. The tires are holding air right now. It's an option for us. Just a little bit of oil. Just enough to help seal around them rings. So not too much. It's also going to take up space in the combustion chamber, and that'll raise the compression. But mostly it's helping seal around them rings. Now if you do too much of that, it will hydrolock your motor. You know, just like if you drove somewhere and water got in your air intake, it's going to stop the motor. So you just want a little bit, not too much where it's fighting, but just enough. Moment of truth. Just use a little bit of oil. So let's see. That's that oil in there. It's harder for it to turn over now. Well, we swapped tactics a little bit. We're gonna pull start the old girl using this co-op. Great uncle was a big Mopar guy, and this co-op's built with mostly Chrysler parts. Chrysler car parts, I believe. I don't know, someone told me something about it once. Probably my old man. Yeah, this thing sounds good. Let's see if she'll start with pull starting. This thing's gotta be one of the best sounding tractors ever made. Just glorious. Started in gear. It's all right. All right, let's get down there and start pulling her with a chain. Is it yes or no? Even when I pull you, hold up. Try to move it. Keep trying to move it. Keep trying. Keep trying. Well, we got bad news. I think we figured out why she was parked. This front end is completely stuck. I'm imagining it froze up. There's a big old oil leak on the front of that thing. So right about there is the box for it. And there's oil all around it. So I'm imagining the oil came out and it froze up and then it was parked here. And that's where it's sat. So it's been guarding this farm all for a while. So I'm imagining something's probably wrong with that farm all too. We almost got her running. She popped off a couple times for us. She was just too low on compression. We did do a compression test and she was low. Once we added the oil, it was a little bit too much to fight the motor. Here is unfortunately where we have to end. Sorry guys, I hate leaving us on a bad note. It is what it is. We're about a 2-hour drive from home and still gotta get dinner and we work tomorrow. It is what it is. Thank you all for watching. Please take care. Also, James just figured out that this bad girl, she don't even go in gear. Couldn't have even pull started her if we wanted to. That's all right. We'll get some good dinner.
We'll get something good to eat tonight. Think about steaks, maybe lobster.
Maybe lobster? Oh, well.
Shoot,
Good thing it's on you tonight, man.
Wait.